Hi, I'm Roddy Iglesias. I'm a certified clinical nutritionist, and today we are going to talk about food additives. Now, there's a lot to talk about, so I'm going to try and just go through them as quickly as possible. So let's talk about asulfame potassium or asulfame K. All right, this is a sweetener. It's used as a sweetener substitute. On the market, you'll see it under the name of Sunnet and Sweet Ones. Basically, research has shown that it does have or has caused cancer in animals. Number one, sulfites. For example, sulfites are used basically to keep fruits and vegetables fresh. Now, I want to read you a little something about sulfites. Sometimes when you come in, and write to me, you make comments about I don't have any, I can't back it up. Well, understand that we have to do these videos in as short a period as time, and I really can't. But I do want to, on some of these things, I really want to read to you a couple of the things, the research that was done on sulfites. Until early 80s, they were considered safe, but the CSPI found 6 scientific studies providing that sulfites provoke sometimes severe allergic reactions. CSPI and the Food and Drug Administration identified at least a dozen fatalities linked to sulfites. This is also in wine, too. So some of you who drink wine and you really don't feel well, it may be the sulfites that's in it, especially the red wine. Especially if you're drinking or eating dried fruits, like dried apricots, may get a constriction in the throat. That may be the sulfites. All of the deaths occurred among asthmatics. In 1985, Congress finally forced FDA to ban sulfites from most fruits and vegetables, especially if you have asthma. So you really need to watch out for the sulfites. So MSG. So let's talk about MSG. MSG comes from a natural protein, glutamic acid, which in its natural form, basically coming from these proteins, is perfectly safe. But that's not the problem. The problem is that the manufactured version of monosodium glutamate is the problem. And here's how they do it. This factory-made version causes sensitive individuals more serious reaction than any other form of glutamic acid. Keep in mind that there is no D-glutamic acid. That's not in nature. The natural glutamic acid that we consume is an L-glutamic acid. So how they make it is they break it down, and free glutamate, or MSG, is made from different raw materials, mostly corn, using various chemical processes. Strong acids, alkalis, enzymes, bacteria, and heat are used to hydrolyze animal, vegetable, and milk products, and then refine it into a white crystal that resembles sugar. This substance is known as monosodium glutamate, or MSG. And this is an unnatural type of glutamic acid, and it can cause all kinds of problems. It can cause headaches, it can cause seizures, it can cause allergic reactions. It just stay away from MSG. Okay, what else have we got? We've got asulfame potassium, we talked about already, sucralose and saccharin. Those are the sugars. Sucralose basically is derived from a natural sugar, but it is chlorinated and is basically taken down to chlorine. There's all kinds of problems with that. The red dyes. Red dye number 2. This was actually taken off the market except for in oranges. Now, have you ever noticed when you peel an orange, it gets orange on your hands? Well, that's red dye number 2. That has been known as cancer-causing in animals. Red dye number 3, that you'll find in cherries and pudding and ice cream and sorbets and all kinds of products like that. That's a coal tar derivative. Even though it is still on the market as considered safe, the coal tar derivatives, they have found various different cancers in animals and brain chemistry changes. Blue dye. number 1, and blue dye, number 2, and also green dye is also a coal tar derivative. They keep it on the permanent safe list, those blue and green dyes, but they have been known to be possible allergens, as well as known to cause tumors in animals at the injection site. Okay, so that's another thing. Aspartame, we already know about. Now I want to read you something, because we've talked about aspartame. We did a whole thing on aspartame, but I got some feedback from some of the comments who were saying, that aspartame is safe and there's nothing wrong with it and yada yada, and where's our citations and whatever. Let me tell you, there's citations on every single one of these, but I'm only going to go through some of these, but this is important. Aspartame, a study done in 1998, a study in Life Science. Okay, so in Life Science, volume 63, number 5, page 337, it states, it is concluded that aspartame consumption may constitute a hazard because its contribution to the formation of formaldehyde adducts. There is so much research on aspartame, and it has been hidden. We have talked about this in other stories. There it is again. It comes up. Another one. This is BHA and BHT. Now, this is a preservative that you're going to find in a lot of various different things. It's added to anything that contains oil to keep the oil from rancidity. So the International Agency of Research on Cancer, part of the World Health Organization, considers BHA as a possible carcinogenic to humans. And the state of California has listed it as a carcinogen. Some studies show the same cancer causes possibility for BHT. So BHT and BHA are totally unnecessary. They don't need these kinds of preservatives, and I just say stay away from them. So what's some other ones that are important? Potassium bromate. This is interesting. This is used to increase the volume of bread, and the volume of bread and other bread products. This has been banned in every country in the world except for US and Japan. So read your labels, look for potassium bromate, Alestra. There's another one, the fake fat. I love the fake fat. This is put out by Procter & Gamble. It's unnecessary and unsafe. Basically says the Harvard School of Public Health states that the long-term consumption of Alestra snack food might result in several thousand unnecessary deaths each year from lung and prostate cancer and heart disease, and hundreds of additional cases of blindness in the elderly due to macular degeneration. Why? Because it attaches to valuable nutrients and flushes them out of the body. Some of these nutrients, one of them being carotenoids. Okay, so it also combines various other problems, such as it may cause diarrhea or serious gastrointestinal problems, and even at low dosing. I mean, anything that says on the package may cause anal leakage, don't consume. We find a lot of caffeine in foods, and especially soft drinks and things like that. Coke, chocolate, and any caffeinated drinks. Caffeine, understand, is a drug. And basically, if your children are bouncing off the wall and they're drinking soda pop, this particular food additive is not suggested. It blows out the adrenals, and that with a whole bunch of sugar and other chemicals, this is a cocktail for disaster. Let's see if there's anything else. Okay, additives to avoid. Artificial color, sodium nitrates, and nitrites. Now this is really important. This you'll find in processed meats. You'll find this in luncheon meats and hot dogs and things like that. Nitrite, sodium nitrite, is generally safe. It's basically harmless, but it's readily converted into nitrite So nitrate converts into nitrite. And when nitrites combine with compounds known as secondary amines, this combination creates what we call nitrosamines. Nitrosamines can be extremely powerful carcinogens, and especially this chemical reaction occurs at high temperature. So, you know, when we're making hot dogs that are loaded with nitrate, or sausages or things like that, and we're barbecuing them, they're loaded with nitrosamines. So those are very, very dangerous too. I would stay away from anything with nitrates in them. Okay. So, artificial colors, sodium nitrite, nitrates, BHT, hydroxytoluene, saccharine, sulfites, sulfur dioxide, BVO, which is brominated vegetable oil, and aspartame. Just basically stay away from them. The ones that are considered safe, the additives that you may not have heard of but are pretty much safe: stevia, potassium sorbate, vanillin, casein, lactose, lecithin, sodium benzenate, sorbitol, polysorbate, calcium propionate, gelatin, pectin, minerals. If you see any glycerin mono or diglycerides, those are all safe. Alganates, those are safe. Acids, citric acids, sorbic acid, lactic acid, NATO, carrageenan, that is safe, beta-carotenes, you know, all vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, those are safe additives. But the rest of the additives, I would say, stay away from. All right, that's what we're going to talk about next time. We're going to get into proteins and things like that. Thank you all for listening in. Make sure that you sign up if you aren't already a member of Psyche Truth, and we've got more to talk about later. Thanks for coming.
If you liked this video, we have hundreds of more alternative videos ranging from sexual health to psychology to mind control. So if you liked it, go ahead and click on me to enter the Psyche Truth channel.